Now, for example, uh, we have set a standard approval task. Now, some of you might ask me that, Manoj, why we need to use custom task, right? What's the usage of a custom task? Now, for example, uh, when you will go to a particular project, now what is happening is like your client is saying to you that, boss, very good, you have configured the approval task, and based on your configuration, everything is working fine. Now, all of you will be feeling, oh, very good. Now, basically, after the go live, your clients comes to you and they are basically saying, ki Manoj, like you have done the configuration of approval in a very good way, but the issue which we are facing, facing is, okay, approval you have done, very good. Now, what is happening is like these approvers, they are basically uh, doing what? They are basically taking their own time, and some of them are not checking the full sourcing project. They are just checking, okay, this is the price, I will approve it. But on the other hand, they are supposed to check each and every field of sourcing project. Now, why this will cause an issue? Some of you might ask me, why it will cause issue? The issue is there are certain other fields also which are very important, and if they are not checked by the approver, what will happen? It will directly go to the supplier. Then supplier will point this thing out to the buyer, saying, "Arey boss, how come you are basically having this uh, sourcing project without checking anything?" Now, what you will do? How you will find the solution to this issue? Now, I know what all of you will be basically be seeing. Now, all of you will say, Manoj, this is not our issue. This is an issue of uh, uh, client side. The user are not following the rules. Yes, of course. But how will you resolve it? Okay, you will make a checklist and you will give a checklist. Very good. Your user will not follow it. What will happen? What he will do? They will make excuse. Arey Manoj, there is some issue. There is another issue. There is another issue. Due to that, we could not check each and every field. I am getting 10 sourcing project each day for approval. Uh, it's impossible for me to check each and every field of this sourcing project. I cannot do that. What you will do? Now the answer is, from a user training perspective or from any other perspective, you cannot do anything. Now, all of you, since I was basically talking about this scenario when I was discussing about the custom task, all of you will say, Manoj, custom task. Okay, you can basically have a custom task, but how will you implement that custom task knowledge? See, from day one, that is what I'm saying. Having a knowledge is one thing that everybody possesses. By reading a book, everybody can possess that. But application of knowledge, that is what it happens in the project. How will you apply this custom task in this scenario? So what I will do is like, I will create a custom task. And what is that? Okay, custom task, data check before approval. Very good. All of you will be saying, Are Manoj, very good. Then I will say, hold on for a moment. Why hold on for a moment? The sequence is wrong. So I have to rectify this sequence. Are ha. Now the sequence is coming correctly. So first and foremost thing, custom data task, data check before approval, then standard approval task. It makes sense. Okay. So what I will do, I will click on action. See, create option is coming. I will click on to do task. So once I click on it, this is the custom task creation. So what I will do, okay, owner should always be project owner, whether it's a standard task or custom task does not matter. Owner should always be project owner. Okay. Now you want to add any observer. Observer means basically they will get notification when this task will get triggered or when this task will get completed. They will also get notification. They can view it, but they cannot change it. So it's up to you whether you want to add the observer or not. Now, due date. Due date is basically like 3 days. So what's the meaning of due date? The due date means, let's say for example, today we have triggered this data check before approval task. So within 3 days, it has to be completed. If it is not completed, it will lapse. So that means what? That means it has to be retriggered once again. So once it triggers, complete this task within 3 days, or else you have to retrigger it. Retrigger means republishing it. Now, very good. Click on OK. Now look at the task sequence. These three things. Is it coming properly? Exactly. Exactly. That is what I was waiting for from your replies. Data check has to trigger first. Very good. No, 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 no. Here, bottom to top is not going to work. That is basically present in the approval list. In the approval list, it will be bottom to top. But in the task sequence, the sequence is mandatory and the sequence is wrong. Why? Data check before approval should be coming at the top. Then approval for event publishing. Then review. So please remember this. So in the task, the sequence matters and it is not from bottom to top. It is top to bottom. Now all of you will say, okay, Manoj, how I will do it? Some of the people, some of the Ariba consultant, they will just say, drag and drop. See, yes, I can do it within drag and drop. But remember, that is very, very risky. Tomorrow, when you will go to a project where multiple custom tasks and multiple tasks will be there, 9, 10 tasks will be there. What you will do? You will drag and drop? No, you need a certain thing. And how you can control it? Click on it, edit task, rank. So for the first task, I will give the rank as 0. Okay, Manoj. Next task, what? I will give rank as 10. The third task, I will give rank as 20. So now is it coming properly? Yes, it is coming properly. But now all of you will basically ask me that what is the meaning of rank and all those particular stuff. So rank basically control the sequence of the task. Very good. Now how Ariba basically give the rank? So first task, the rank is 0. Second task is equal to previous task rank, which was 0, plus 10, which is equal to 10. Third task, previous task rank 10. Okay, plus 10 is equal to 20. What would be the fourth task rank? See, we were not having fourth task in this template, but if fourth task would have been there, what should, what rank should we have given over there? Correct. Very, very correct. 30. How? Previous rank 20 plus 10 is equal to 30. Exactly correct. So now all of you will say, Are Manoj, kyun? Why? This is a standard thing which Ariba follows. Why you are asking us? Now suppose, I think all of you guys know that there cannot be only one Ariba consultant working in a project. There are multiple consultants who are working in the project. Now you are following this thing. That guy is following 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. For the first task, 1. For the second task, 0 plus 1, 1 plus 1 is equal to 2. For the third task, 2 plus 1 is equal to 3. Now you will basically think, Are, ho kya raha hai? What is happening? I am using 10, 20, 30. This guy is using 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. What is this? Chaos. So when you basically start a work, in your project, basically have a talk with your colleagues and you agree that this is the best practices from the Ariba side and we will follow this thing. Now all of them will basically say, yes, Manoj, it makes sense. We are going to do it like this. Okay. And this is basically the default best practices. Yeah, this is the best practices. No, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 also you can use. But my suggestion is not only you should follow this, but your colleagues who are working in the same project, they should also follow this to avoid miscommunication. Exactly. Now, all of you are very, very happy. Chalo, Manoj, data check before approval is coming properly, then approval is coming, then review is coming. Very good. Now, what will happen? So, we have controlled the rank. So, that means sequence is controlled. Everything is good, damn good. Then I will say how it will happen when the triggering will happen. So, Ariba will trigger this task, custom task first. All of you are happy. Okay? It will trigger the task. Very happy, all of you. Then, after some seconds, it will also trigger this task. Now, what will happen is like this guy, they will have a look at it later on. And this guys, they will complete the approval first. Now, what is happening? The sourcing project is approved. It went to the supplier. Then your data check team is basically finding there is some issue. See, that is why knowledge is not the most important thing, application of knowledge. And how I can say with so much confidence? Because I also made that mistake, this mistake. Oh, I have used the rank. Everything is good. It does not matter whether it's generate a reminder or not. It does not matter. What has happened is like custom task has triggered right now. 5 minutes later, approval task has basically got triggered. Now, what is happening? The approvers, they are going on a long leave. They will today only approve it, and the data check team will basically have a look at this sourcing project tomorrow, and then they find out something, some issue is there, but they find that issue in Monday evening. But sourcing project has been approved on Sunday, and it went to the supplier in Ariba network on Sunday only. So it will basically defeat your whole purpose. So what we have to do? We have to make sure that until unless this custom approval task is not completed successfully, this approval task should not get triggered. Now you understand the real client's concept. That means basically the custom task needs to be completed first fully, then only the standard approval should be used. Use of rank is basically just controlling the sequence, but that is not our just only requirement. Our requirement is sequence plus dependency. What's the dependency? That boss, this task can only be triggered when this task is completed successfully. So where we will basically capture the dependency? So chalo, in approval task, edit task, there is a thing called as predecessors. Click on select, data check before approval, click on OK. Now see, predecessor is coming over here. Now all of you will say, Manoj, now what will happen? So now Ariba will trigger this task, custom task. All of you are basically saying, oh, very good. What next? Now what will happen is when Ariba will try to trigger this approval task, immediately it cannot do it. Why? Because we have made the custom task as the parent task for this approval task through the predecessor concept. Now, until unless the parent is completed successfully, the child task cannot be triggered. Exactly. So system here will check whether this predecessor task is complete or not. If it is completed, it will trigger this approval task. If it is not, it will not trigger. That is the concept of predecessor. So now you understand where rank will come and where predecessor will come. Okay. Majority of Ariba consultant, they can't determine when to use rank, when to use predecessor. It's simple. Rank means what? Control the sequence. Dependency between the tasks should not be there. Then you use rank. But if dependency is there and the proper sequence has to be maintained, then rank plus predecessor. Now, if somebody is saying sequence does not matter, but dependency does matter, then use predecessor. Majority of Ariba consultants, they will think where we will use, how we will use. So that is why I said to all of you guys that when we will understand a little bit about the custom task, we will have very much clarity in this concept of rank and predecessor. For standard tasks, we cannot have predecessor and rank directly. It will only come into the picture when custom task will be used. And as you can see in the custom task, we cannot have any approval task as well. So we have to create non-approval task. See, this is an example of custom task. No, rank and predecessor will not have conflict. Why? Because the thing is like, you cannot say, see, the thing is like, read this thing first. Control the task based on previous task completion. Now, if you say, key first and foremost thing, I will use data check before approval as predecessor task for review for team grading. Yes, that you can do it. So in that case, what you are saying, key, when this data check before approval will be completed, then only review for team grading will be done. But for approval for event publish, you have not given predecessor. What will happen? Approval for event publish will be completed without the completion of the first task. So even if the sequence is like, many of the Ariba consultants think, oh, rank and predecessor means predecessor, we can basically do it for task one, task two, task two, task three, like this. No, you can basically establish the predecessor relationship between task three and task one also. So what will happen? Task two means it will always get up completed without any condition. But if you give the review for team grading, sorry, data check before approval as the predecessor for review for team grading, so that means the approval for event publish will be completed first. But before completing the review for team grading, you have to complete this data check. There won't be any issue. But remember, I cannot give data check before approval. In this thing, I cannot give the predecessor as this ones. Why? Can any of you guys take a guess? In the custom task, which is at the top, I cannot give these two tasks as predecessor. Can any one of you guys take a guess? Now, parent-child relationship will be violated. How? How? Because, see, this is why. The thing is like you think about it. The parent-child relationship will be violated. That is the correct answer. Why? Because you cannot say in the parent that, boss, for this parent, this is the parent. So if I basically say, think about it, think about it. The first task is there, and for the first task, I have given the third task as the predecessor. So that means basically I am saying ki first the grandchild will come, then basically the father will come, and then the granddad will come or the grandfather will come. So it's opposite. Never use that. It will never happen. So in that case, if you do that configuration, what will happen is like your end user will be basically scratching their head and thinking, "Arey, kya ho raha hai? What is happening?" The first task is never getting completed. Why? Because you have given the third task. Third task is the parent of the first task. So that is why this concept I have used, the wordings which I have used over here is what? See, it's this wording you will never find it in any book. Control the task based on the previous. I did not say next task completion or upcoming task completion. I said previous task completion. So the wordings are very, very important. There can be a number of tasks. There can be a number of tasks. You cannot just say there will be 4 tasks or 5 tasks. There can be a number of tasks. It depends on the client's requirement. Now, some of you guys were basically saying to me where we shall use custom task, how this custom task will be linked with the standard task. These are the concept. Yesterday, all of you wanted to understand, right? That what is custom task, how this custom task will basically behave in sync with that of a standard task. This is how. Okay. So this is what we wanted to show in our task section. Now, let's go to the document side. Click on edit. Now, the first and foremost thing basically which we need to understand over here is these are envelope rules. Now, did we discuss about envelope rules in our system, in our sourcing project process? No, definitely we have not seen it. We have not seen the implementation of it, but we discussed a particular sentence. What is that? That is, if you want to, exactly correct. This is used in government projects, specifically when government organization is implementing Ariba. Excuse me, not public tendering, government clients. Exactly correct. So what government clients will do? They will basically say, "Arey Manoj, all the responses are coming. Let's put all the responses within one envelope and close it. Once the bid closes, that means all the supplier has submitted their bid, then I will open the envelope and then basically I will see the what? See the responses and compare the responses. Correct? Now, the issue is this is a half-baked solution. None of the government clients will use it. Why? Because they will always say, very good, you're giving an envelope, that means no buyer can go and see the responses until unless the bid closes or the sourcing project closes for response submission. but their requirement is specifically like the bid should be encrypted, not within some envelope. Why? Because Ariba people can, or specifically Ariba employees who are having access to the databases and all those things, they can see the data. As a buyer, I cannot see it, but Ariba employees can see it. Why? Because they will have access to a database level. So that is why all the government basically say the bid should be encrypted, and once the bid opening period is completed, then what will happen? The bid should be decrypted. So that is why I did not cover this thing. Majority of the Ariba functional consultants, whenever their clients will ask that, do you support our government rule policies? They will say yes. Then they will ask how? By using envelope. Now the government clients basically they are not Ariba consultants. They will say okay, very good. But according to government instructions, every government instructions, the responses should be encrypted, and when you are going to open it, the responses has to be decrypted. That is not available within the envelope. So that is why please be clear on this part, that using envelope means does not means all the government's processes has been satisfied. Please keep this thing in your mind. So that is why what we can do, we can create a number of envelope. Generally one envelope is created. Once you create that envelope, within that envelope all the supplier responses will come and sit. That means as a buyer I cannot check any of the responses until unless those envelope is open. It will be opened by whom? Generally it will be opened by a sourcing manager. You can see team is coming, and in the team what we will do,